Hi, I'm Noah. My wife and I just had twins. When you see someone pushing a stroller with twin infants, don't yell, "Hey, double trouble!" Seriously, please don't. Okay, so the last time we spoke, sometime in the Carter administration, I was telling you the story of how my twins were born. I realize it's been so long since my last video that both twins are now in graduate school, but still, it's a story that needs to be told. When I last left off, we'd been in the hospital for a day trying to induce labor via Pitocin drip, and it wasn't working. So the doctors decided to take the next step. They were going to break Amanda's bag of waters. So they brought in a bunch of kids from a Mexican-themed birthday party, and they gave them sticks and blindfolds, and... No, seriously, they used some kind of medical implement. And of course, the bag of waters broke, and the twins were born right away. Nope. In fact, they couldn't break it. Apparently, Amanda got one of those Kevlar enforced amniotic sacs, so all they could do was scrape the membrane. So we went back to waiting. But the good news was they moved us into a bigger room. Then, about an hour later, they moved us back into the small room because apparently the Pope needed the bigger room to have his baby or something. Anyway, after several more hours of waiting and more non-eating, this was about 7 or 8 p.m. by this point, they finally let Amanda eat something and take a shower. Now, Amanda had been feeling pretty lousy at this point, so the shower was a welcome relief, as she felt clean and refreshed and a little more human. So at this point, they decided to try to break her bag of waters again and cover her in amniotic fluid. This time the doctors brought their armor-piercing medical implements, so they managed to break the bag of waters, which made a sound exactly like what you would expect the sound of a breaking bag of water to make. Weird. They also took Amanda off of the Pitocin drip and let it go through her system and started it up again. Now, remember how I said that most women who are put on a Pitocin drip are in agony? Yeah, for some reason now Amanda was one of those most women. So yeah, by the evening things were getting pretty unbelievably painful. Plus, suddenly Amanda got a very high fever. Apparently she'd gotten an infection from something that they had done to her. So she was shivering so much that she couldn't even relax in between the contractions, which were coming more frequently and more strongly now. And she tried to sleep, but she couldn't because all she could think about were drinks. And then she had the need to throw up. And I was running around the room trying to find something for her to throw up into, and all I could find was a little urine sample cup, which was not going to hold it all. So she threw up right onto the little bag of snacks that I had for myself in the side of the room, which was really only fair since she wasn't allowed to eat either. So it was time to get an epidural. Now, whether or not to get an epidural is a personal choice, and I respect either decision, but recently a friend of ours from our Lamaze class was telling us her birth story. She said that she really didn't want an epidural because she wanted to experience the whole labor naturally, and she thought the epidural would compromise that. But then, the way she put it was she was screaming in agony, and she realized that all she was really experiencing was the pain and not any of the other stuff she wanted to experience. So she got the epidural. They made me leave the room while they're putting in the spinal block, and they assured me that husbands always have to leave the room during this, but then other fathers tell me this is not the case, so I assume they really just wanted to talk about me behind my back. Amanda felt much better, but the fever was still going, and so now in addition to the Pitocin drip, she was now getting antibiotics intravenously, and you might ask, hey, how were the babies doing during all of this? Not so great. As always, don't worry, the story has a happy ending, which I will get to sometime before the next Guns N' Roses album comes out. Bye.